I would say that the most unforgettable character that I worked with was a woman named Mapu. She was a woman who lived in the village that we lived in. We were the only couple living there, expatriates living there. And she was one of the first people probably who approached me and befriended me. She was, I think, I was in my mid-20s. She was, I think, only in her mid-30s, maybe 40. She had never learned to read. She never wore shoes a day in her life. But I always remember how we had studied about transcultural living and, you know, how to approach another culture and all this. And anyway, while we were there, my grandfather died. And people in Liberia dealt with death very differently than we did. They wailed and went on, you know, and while I was trying hard to be culturally acceptable and to acculturate, I was not going to do that about my granddad. But she could tell, she came over and she could tell that I was not feeling well. And bless her heart, this very, you know, rural woman, I don't think she'd ever ridden in a car, didn't wear shoes. She saw that and she said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Well, you know, my old father died." And she came over and she kind of hugged me because she must have seen us hugging at some point. And, you know, it was like she knew, she had watched enough to know that that was the right thing to do. And people there didn't cry, but they would wail, right? But I started to sob and bawl, as we would with tears. So she started to sob. And she hugged me a while and I cried. And then, you know, and then she kind of pulled us apart and looked at me like, "Okay, oh, we keep this up. Okay, okay." And she started again. And it was so moving to me that this very, you know, simple woman had learned what, you know, I had studied in graduate school, how to, you know, learn another cultural way and to do that in order to reach out and be comforting to me at a difficult time. So, and she was a good friend on many, many levels, but that was one particularly memorable time.